Hey guys, so today's video is going to be all about Uromastyx and how to take care of them and what equipment you'll need. So today's focus is going to be mainly on the species, the yellow Saharan Uromastyx and the Mali Uromastyx, like our friend Chewy here. There are some species of Uromastyx that can get bigger than these guys. Mainly that's the Egyptian Uromastyx. But as far as tank size requirements go, today we're going to focus on the Mali and the yellow Saharan. So Uromastyx, they are a desert lizard. They come from North Africa and some countries in the Middle East. So your Malis and your yellow Saharan Uromastyx will get between 10 to 18 inches in length. Species like the Egyptian one, they can get up to 30 inches long, so they're a much bigger type of Uromastyx. These guys are a very long living lizard. They can easily get to 30 years old, and they can live even longer than that. So when you get a pet Uromastyx, you're going to have it for a long time. So these guys, they need a minimum tank size, about 36 by 18 by 12, which is a 30, what we call a 30 breeder tank here. But a lot of people prefer, like we keep Chewy here, in a 40 gallon tank, which is a 36 by 18 by 16, I believe. Now, as far as their substrate goes, we use a desert blend bedding, which is crushed walnut shell. We find that it works a lot better than the fine like clay sand and stuff, because if they ingest it, it has a much lower chance of causing impaction. The other stuff, it can clump up and it can block their intestines if they eat it along with their greens or their food. So these guys love to burrow, so you want to provide them lots of little places to hide in their tank. For Chewy, we have him built a little. We built him a little like a little cave, a little burrow out of some rocks. But you can get some hides and stuff to put in there that they can hide under if they want to. And because they like to burrow, you should make their substrate a little bit deeper than you would for other animals. So yeah, they really enjoy that. So their basking spot, these guys are very hot. They're used to very hot desert environments and very dry. So they need a hot spot of about 120 to 130 actually. Almost absolutely you'll need a additional heat bulb. Like we have a 160 watt mercury vapor on Chewy, and we also have to have a secondary infrared bulb to make sure that his hot spot gets up to that 120 to 130 mark. So definitely we'll probably need an additional heat lamp to get that temperature up there. And definitely stay away from halogen bulbs for these guys, because it can burn their skin, because they do like to sit under that hot spot, and the halogen light can be a little bit too intense for these guys. And then of course, like all diurnal species, they need to have a UVB bulb. What we do is we have the mercury vapor bulb, and that also gives out the UVB, so that's like a dual. It's like both heat and UVB in one bulb. So that's your best bet to go with, is a mercury vapor, but you can do a separate UVB bulb and then your separate heat bulbs. Now, one of the most important things for these guys that most people don't realize, they cannot have water in their tank. If you do put standing water in a water dish in their tank, it causes way too much humidity for these guys. They're used to the extremely dry environment. So if you do put it in there, it'll evaporate into the air, and it'll cause just that little bit amount of humidity will give them respiratory infections, and it can even kill them. So they get all their water they need from their greens, so stay away from that water dish. Now the fun part, their diet. These guys are strict herbivores. They cannot have any insects at all. Insects actually have way too much protein, and their poor little kidneys can't handle it. So it can actually kill them if they eat too many insects. So just stay away from them and you're good to go. What we feed them as far as greens go, We feed ours dark leafy greens like turnip, collard, kale, mustard, just any nice dark leafy green. Stay away from lettuce because all it has is basically water content, and that's about it. It has no nutritional value for them at all. So best to stick with the dark leafy greens for their main diet. Now for additional things that you can feed them, you can give them like snap peas, some vegetables like yellow squash in moderation. You can also give them green beans. They love flowers like dandelions and hibiscus, so those are also some good things. Lentils, those are also a favorite among Uromastyx. So yep, any of those should do good as long as you give them in moderation in addition to your main diet of dark leafy greens. And these guys are really easy as far as daily care goes. All you gotta do basically is scoop for poop, take out the old greens, give them fresh greens every day, along with their greens. Whenever, like, we feed about every other day or so, we calcium dust their greens. We dust with vitamins just once a week. Too many vitamins can actually hurt these guys, so yeah, if you just dust it once a week, that is perfectly fine. Just don't do it more than that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little video about how to care for a pet Uromastyx. They're a pretty cool lizard to keep, pretty clean lizards too, not very stinky at all. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.